and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the Ask the Experts Show with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, it's Monday, it's 6 o'clock, and it's time for Ask the Experts. You know, I've learned now, I think it's been, 37, 40 days now? I've learned that husband and wives were not meant to be together 24/7. You might have a 2-week vacation, you're home, but this has been well over a month, and I am talking to friends now that are going, wow, we're fighting more than ever now. And it's not just being together, it's also the financial stress on everybody. So guess what show we have today? I'm so excited because she has been gone for a while. We've still been running her shows. We have with us on the phone, board certified in family law, Tina Lourd. Hi, Tina.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, I was just listening to you talk about some, we're going to have an interesting conversation today.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we're doing this because I really hate anybody to come in to the studio. I feel bad for them. And it's just me and Ken here right now, and I trust Ken. So we're doing this by phone, but starting next month, we are going to be doing video streaming thanks to Freddie Santori. So all of our shows will still be done from our houses, but by video streaming. So tell me something. Now, first of all, are you open?
Yeah, so thanks for asking, and good to talk to you, even though I can't be there with you and see you, but soon, right? So, we're open. We're fully operational, and like most of my colleagues, so it's an interesting thing going on in the legal world, and thankfully, for those of us that do this for a living, we have been able to adapt and work from home, and with a little bit of technology, it actually has been a pretty seamless sort of adaptation. I mean, and our judiciary has done the same thing. So yeah, in the first days, first couple of weeks, when everything started shutting down, there were questions about, is the courthouse going to shut down? Is the courthouse staying open? It's a public building. And, what are the judges going to do and all of that? And so it didn't take long for the Supreme Court of Florida and then, trickling down to the different counties all around Florida for the chief judges of all the different counties to do their own administrative orders to sort of iron out, the courthouses, most of the courthouses, to my knowledge, are open. Courthouses locally are open. They're only doing certain things in person. So I think there's some like emergency matters, domestic violence injunctions, and some other proceedings, a couple of criminal things that they're doing in person. But a lot of the judges, so in family law, we're doing a lot of our hearings by, like you just said, video conferencing, Zoom and WebEx and all that. I'm doing that with my clients. We're doing mediations. We're doing depositions. We're even doing hearings and trying to, just move people's cases along. Because as much as everyone's dealing with just, an insane, everyone's world is flipped upside down. If you're in the middle of a divorce case, most people still want to move that forward and bring it to conclusion as much as possible. So we're still, we've managed to adapt, and things have been pretty seamless.
Can you, they're talking about opening up Florida. Can you see working like this for a while?
I personally can. So it's interesting, too, and I hate to say this. Like I said, most of the attorneys I know have adapted to this, and some, have not. It's a little, it's a little bit, I think some of the obstacle might come in if you have like a full-blown trial where you have to go in front of the judge and you have evidence and documents and witnesses and cross-examination and objections and things. It's a little harder to do it, that way, but it can be done. And, but yeah, I mean, the hearings I've had with judges, the judges I've seen are in their dining room and they're there, they've got their paperwork and it's working. So, I actually like it. I think it can actually, in the future, who knows, we may be more, we may do more of this for a longer time than we even have to, because it's actually really convenient for a lot of people. People don't have to travel.
Well, this is going, Tina. This is going to give your shoulder time to heal, because all the family attorneys I ever see going to court, they have this huge satchel or they have this huge folders.
Yeah. My printer and my printer is taking a break for once. But yeah, I mean, so the judges have been really cooperative, because even the judges who don't like to, the judges who require things to be done by mail and who, they have everything with paper, they take paper exhibits and mark them and stamp them and write on them. The judges have been great about accepting things by email. And, I've done a few mediations already where, we're kind of emailing documents back and forth, and most of the video conference apps, they have a tool available where you can kind of share your computer screen with whoever is in the conference, so everybody can see what you're looking at, and you can kind of point to, okay, see this here, and you can. It's actually been great. So, it's different, but we're still moving things along. So thankfully. Thankful for that.
Well, before we go any further, I would like, because Tina is a board certified, she's not just a family attorney, she's a board certified family attorney. Tell people about your practice.
Sure. So, my concentration, my specialty is in what you just said, family law, which I like to always say is a fancy word for saying I'm a divorce attorney. But yeah, we handle divorce cases, child custody matters, alimony, distribution of assets, some domestic violence cases, restraining orders, a lot of modifications, which, we might talk about in a minute, because those are happening. People are frantic right now to modify their support obligations with everything going on. And, so I'm board certified, which means that the Florida Bar has designated me as one of, I think it's right now, 276 people in the state who can call themselves experts in the field of family law. And proud to say that, proud to offer that to my clients. And
well, they designated you because of all the extra courses you took.
Sure, yeah. It's not necessarily courses; it's experience. So we've got a lot of trial experience, a lot of experience with complex family law matters. So a lot of complex litigation with some really high end asset cases and complex business assets and things like that. Complex child custody matters, and so it's a designation that's awarded to people who have a high level of skill and experience. And then, of course, there's an examination and an ethics, check that has to be passed, and recommendations from peers, recommendations from judges. So yeah, to be board certified, and you can be board certified in, I think it's a couple of dozen or more areas of law. So that's something that even when I'm talking to my friends and family about, somebody needs a lawyer, well, how do you find a good lawyer? And that's, a way to ensure to the public that you have a board certified lawyer, that you're getting somebody that has a high proficiency in their area of practice.
Tina, have you seen any changes yet with the virus as to the type calls you're getting?
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, I normally get calls from people when they have things that change in their lives, financial changes a lot of the times, and they lose their jobs. But obviously, right now, yes, it's an increase, huge increase. I'm getting in calls for people who have, unfortunately, you name it, laid off, lost their business, or have been furloughed, haven't gotten a paycheck. whatever the case may be, where they are in a position they cannot afford, they cannot pay the alimony or child support obligation that they are court ordered to pay. And so, we're filing cases. There's a couple of ways to go with that. So one of the things, usually what happens when somebody, before the virus or outside of this, outside of a global pandemic situation, which is the norm, if someone loses their job or has suffered a change in circumstances, it might be, sort of an unforeseen amount of time. It could be a long period of time. They could be going through that for a long period of time where, it's a permanent change. Maybe they're older and they got laid off from a job that, they may not be able to get back, a job that's similar in pay. Those cases are where we file for modification of support. But to have a modification, you have to have a change that's permanent in nature or that's gone on for a long period of time. Right now, what you're having is a situation where people, like I said, have lost their job. Maybe they've been furloughed, but they could be in an industry where, things may come back. Once this gets better, and it will get better, things may come back. They may get their income back, or they may reattain their the former level of earnings. So what we're doing right now is we're filing motions. There's case law that says the court has the authority to temporarily reduce or even suspend your support obligation. So we're filing, motions to ask for that, that even if this isn't a permanent situation, it's only temporary, but I can't do it. And so there's case law that says the court can actually suspend those obligations until you can get your former income level back. So
it's got to be tough because,
right now, unfortunately,
for example, husbands who have child support obligations who've been, who aren't working, that's got to make it tough for both parties.
It's so hard, and it really is. And, I think to the extent people can work things out or talk things out, I always encourage that. I think the problem is no one knows, how this is, like I said, we all know it's going to get better. We just don't know when and how soon. And so if you have been in a situation where, some people, like, for example, some people have jobs like in the vacation industry, I have, a client who's in a vacation rental industry. Well, that's going to come back, and maybe tenfold, because after this is all over, everyone's going to be dying to go on vacation.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully, his income will return to the same or even a better level than it was. But then you have people who just plain lost their job. Maybe they were, a server in a restaurant who, that went out of business and they don't have a job, period, or a gym that had to close or something like that, where you have a job that you just don't know if you're going to be able to get, when you're going to be able to get a job that paid you the same level. So it is really tough. And I think part of the problem, too, is you could talk to your former spouse or the person you're paying support to and say, hey, listen, we all know what's going on in the world. Can you help me out? Can you cut me a break? Can we, and even if they were to agree, the problem is, unless you deal with that in the court system, the court order is going to say, well, you still owe the money. Even when you come back, you're going to owe it retroactively. So, it's actually an important thing to make sure that you go through the right channels. And if you do want to try and, suspend your support, that you make sure it's done the right way through the court. Otherwise, you're going to owe all of it, one day. It's just going to accumulate. And, but yeah, it's a terrible situation. I really feel bad for so many people who are going through this.
Especially when it's no fault of anybody's.
Oh, are you still there? Did I lose you?
No, I have you. You there?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Did I lose you?
Yes. Give everybody your phone number.
Sure. My phone number at the office is 561-544-6861. And, we're still operational. You can call that number and you'll still reach us. And, my staff is working, knock on wood. Everybody's, we're still working. We're just working a little differently right now than usual. And you can also, I have a website that's www.lewertlaw.com, and it's spelled LEWERT, law at lewertlaw.com, with tons of information on there. So,
well, we're going to go to break, and we come back. We have more with attorney Tina Lord. She is a family attorney, board certified, And you're not an advocate for divorce, especially if people can work it out. But this is what you do. This is mostly all the law you practice. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we have more with attorney Tina Lewert.
Thanks.
Lewert Law Offices is proud to be the family law expert on the Ask the Expert show. Attorney Tina Lewert is a board-certified specialist in marital and family law. Attorney Lewert is committed to obtaining the best resolution for your divorce or other family law case by consistently providing skilled representation, expert legal advice, and personal attention. Attorney Lewert has developed an excellent reputation for providing effective divorce and family law representation in Boca Raton and the surrounding communities. Lewert Law Offices offers legal advice and representation in a wide range of family law matters, including divorce, child custody, time sharing and visitation, child support, alimony, complex asset distribution, post-judgment modifications, and paternity actions. For expert representation in all aspects of divorce and family law, contact attorney Tina Lewert today at 561-544-6861 or visit www.lewertlaw.com.
We are back. This is the Ask the Experts show. I'm host Steve O. We are on 4 stations now. 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, and 103.9 FM. And we're on every Monday and Thursday nights from 6 to 7. And tonight we have board-certified attorney Tina Lewert. She's board certified, and though your office is in Boca Raton, but you cover cases in Palm Beach and Broward.
Yeah, Palm Beach and Broward mostly, and then, occasionally I'll have cases in other counties too, depending on, where I'm needed. But yeah, mainly Palm Beach and Broward.
I would, to me, if someone called me now and said, you know what, we've had it, I want a divorce, I would go, you know what? Why don't you just relax, wait, this is going to be over, because you might feel different. But you can't do that. I mean, you have to you have to educate them, what you are so good at doing, and they have to make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, well, and it's interesting you said that. I don't know if we've ever talked about this in all the time that I've been with you guys, but, one of the things that a divorce attorney is supposed to do from an ethical standpoint, we do have a duty to, we're not psychologists, but we are counselors of the law, and so we have an ethical duty to counsel our clients about whether, their marriage is irretrievably broken. And, we don't get into all the, like I said, the psychology of it. Everyone has to make their own decision, but it's important, that we make sure that that's actually the case, and that there is nothing that the court can do to put it back together, or there's nothing that the parties can do to put it back together. And I have plenty of clients that call, or prospective clients, I suppose, that call and they're in counseling, or they're thinking of, a divorce, and they want some information. They're in sort of an information gathering stage, but they have the first counseling appointment tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. And, that happens, and that's fine. I mean, a lot of people, you should do your research, and you should sort of educate yourself, and it's a smart thing to do before you take such a big step. But yeah, right now it's sort of the big, I've seen all these memes and everything online on social media where it's the big joke, like, oh, divorce attorneys are going to be so busy when this is over and all that. And I don't know. I mean, for one, who knows? This experience may bring people closer together or expose, strengths in their relationship that they didn't know they had. And, if that does happen, another thing to consider is, divorce attorneys, attorneys in general, it's still an expense, and people may not be prepared, to expend funds on certain things while they're coming out of this, because it is a financial burden for a lot of people. But yeah, it's interesting, what effect people are talking about, what effect this all has in quarantining with your partner, how that affects the relationship and all that. So we'll see. I mean, I guess it should be interesting how that plays out when this is over, whatever that means.
Well, one of the things that you have to do as a family attorney is you sit down with a potential client, and I got to tell you, are so caring, which I think is one of the most important things. And second of all, the way you explain things. I mean, there is no one that can walk in with the kind of checklist that you have in your mind because you've been through it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and part of, I think it's important when people are looking for an attorney or consulting with a lawyer or lawyers, yeah, it's important for a lawyer to point. That's the whole thing. If you want somebody with expertise who knows and thinks of all the things that you don't think of. So absolutely, there are probably a lot of sort of complicated things, especially when you're dealing with children. You know, your children in a divorce, and you have to put together a parenting plan. And typically, when I ask my clients, you know, well, what do you want to do about this, and how do you feel about that? And we're trying to put together what they even want to propose for a parenting plan, a final parenting plan. It's things they haven't even thought about necessarily. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we go through, and I want my clients to understand. I mean, if you're a divorce litigant, you should understand, you know, what's going on in your case, and why your attorney might do something, or why they might not do something, or why they might suggest pursuing a certain strategy or not, and what the law is behind that. And so, you know, a good attorney will go through that with their clients and talk through it so that they're on the same page and they're sort of managing the case together as a team. So that's what I like to do, and you know, I think that's important.
Have you been in any of the courthouses in the last 3 weeks?
I have not. I have not physically gone. So I've had colleagues. So I have not. I know they are taking some domestic violence matters, so restraining order cases. I believe. So it's my understanding right now the majority of those are being done still in person. So they're taking those in person. I have not had any that just during this pocket of time here. I haven't had any in the last few weeks, but I know some colleagues of mine that have physically had to go to the courthouse, and you know, people are wearing masks and being careful and all of that. So no, everything we've done, and I have had some hearings, like I said. I've had hearings, I've had mediations, you know, full day divorce mediations like we normally do. But all of that has been done by video conference. So,
give everybody your phone number and your website address again.
Sure. Thanks. Phone number is 561-544-6861, and the web address is lewertlaw.com, LEWERT law.com.
I'm going to tell you, you know, the listeners out there, we're on 4 stations now, and we're drive time if there's anybody out there working. But if you need a really, really good family attorney who will explain everything to you, and Tina Lord, she's been on our show almost 3 years now, and we just have nothing but good things to say about you. Give everybody your phone number one more time.
Sure. It's 561-544-6861.
And your website?
And, yeah. lewertlaw.com, LEWERTLAW.com. So yeah, we're still there. We're still hanging in there and still available. And you know, I'm doing everything remotely. I'm talking to my clients, you know, by myself. Everybody's got my cell phone these days, and you know, we're here. So.
Well, we love you, Tina. I'm so good. You'll be back again with us next month. Maybe we'll either be streaming or we'll be back in studio. But thank you so much. We love having you on the show.
Thanks. I love being with you guys. And, you know, everybody stay well.
You too.
Hear your voice.
We're going to go to break, and we come back. We have Dr. Levin, our cosmetic surgeon, is going to be with us. And we'll be right back.